What is going on YouTube? Is FlopFish here, and welcome to the Ultimate Hut Guide. This is where I teach you everything you need to know about Hut and how to become successful in Hut, how to get a good team, quickly, how to earn pucks, how to open up better packs, everything, because I get a lot of questions on this every single year, and I decided to put it all into one big video. So yeah, sit back, relax, listen. In the description below there's going to be links to certain times of what I'm talking about, and I'm going to go through this kind of in a little bit of methodic order here and just teach it from kind of the beginning to the more or less advanced stuff, or once you get more pucks, I guess is how I'm going to work it and how I'm going to progress through this. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the first. If you played Hut in a previous year, you're going to be able to get a returning user reward bonus, which you go down to your extras, go in there, and it'll be in here. I don't have it because I didn't play it on Xbox last year, but nonetheless, you'll be able to go in, hit your redeem returning user reward bonus, and you can get some pretty nice puck bonus. I believe in NHL 14 it's up to 150k, and yeah, so you can do that, and it honestly is a great kickstart if you played the last year's Hut. But if you didn't, and you're in a brand new Ultimate team and you didn't have any pucks to start off with, you're going to be in a little bit of a unique situation like I was on here. You're going to be starting off with about 25 pucks from your sign-in bonus, and you're going to have to go and play a game in order to play the market a little bit to earn yourself some pucks. Now, we're going to go ahead and try to play an online game, right? No, the one thing you do not want to do when you go onto the game, no matter really how good of a player you are, if you're taking in your opening starter pack bronze team, it is going to be very, very tough to win an online game and even do well in one. And you'll maybe get 300 pucks, 300, 400 pucks as opposed to 400, 500, maybe even 700 from playing an offline game. So what you do is you go into tournaments and you choose one of these two cups. I would prefer to go with Veteran Cup personally, just a bigger puck bonus when you win it, and it's honestly a fairly easy tournament to win. Again, it's against the AI, so you really don't have to worry about it. Again, if you're brand new to the game or brand new to Hut, I'd highly recommend playing that offline game first. Getting your pucks from that, you might play the whole tournament once, just get at least 500 pucks, and then you can start to work the market, which we will get into here. The 59th minute method is a very, very popular way to make pucks on any Ultimate team there is. What you do is you set up a search and you go all the way to the 59th minute and swap between pages and wait to find players undervalued, buy them, and then resell them or quick sell them for more than what they go for. Now, there are kind of two different search queries in NHL 14 that I highly recommend, one more than the other, and there are also three different methods I use in finding out steals for players using this search method. So the two ways to search for players in this for the 59th minute method is to set your league to NHL, which means you can get any NHL player there is that pops up on the market, or the other one is to set your level to gold. Now, these cut out a lot of the silver and bronze cards, which means you can get to the 59th minute a little bit faster, which is just nice and easy, and it also cuts out a lot of the clutter, as most of the time it's the gold cards that you're going to get the steals on and not the bronze and the silver cards. Now, that being said, I don't recommend setting it to gold as much as I recommend setting your league to NHL, and the reason why is because although the pros to gold is that you can get any gold player in any league, like the AHL, the Swedish Hockey League, any league there is a gold player in, those ones often aren't listed below their quick sells. And that's one of the things that you miss out is with the NHLers, you can get the silver NHL players or the bronze NHL player for a pretty good steal and actually make some pretty good profit on them as well. So that's why I normally run NHL, just because you can pick up some of these silver players for a cheap amount. Like yesterday, for example, I picked up I think it's Matt or Mike Hoffman from the Senators for 400 pucks, and I sold them for 2K. That's a fairly good profit in this game. You get 1.5K, which you can use pretty quickly to buy 3 more players, and it just really carries on. It's a big ripple effect. But anyways, there are 3 search methods, or 3 price settings that you want to do in the 59th minute method, and they're different for how many pucks you have. Don't worry about your minimum and maximum price here. That has no relevance at the 59th minute because you're looking for buy it nows, which is why you want to set these 2. Now, if you leave it just at minimum and maximum price on here, you're also going to have a lot more search results to sift through at the 59th minute to see if it's a good buy it now or not. That being said, it is also a very good method to see if there's a puck or a card listed at 50 pucks on bids, like a big name card. But again, not going to get into that too much because 99% of the time you're not going to be able to get a steal on those, and you want quick steals. You don't want to be waiting an hour in a bidding war to see if you might get them. So the methods you want to search, or the numbers you want to have, there's 3 different ones. My personal favorite is to set your buy it now maximum to 600 pucks, and what this is it's below the quick sells of rare golds of any player 75 or over for an overall. And that is actually a very good method, and it keeps everything really nice and clean because and decluttered, because when you see a rare gold on the market using this method, 99.99% of the time, it is going to be someone you can quick sell for more than what you're buying them for. Even if it's 13 pucks, it's going to be a profit for you. I think the one exception is probably Grigorenko. I think that's the only below 75 and 74 below NHLer, but I'll get into that in a little bit. The other 2 methods are to set it to your buy it now minimum. This is if you have a lot of pucks, like at least 50k to me. You can do it with 25 at least, but you set your buy it now minimum to 100 and sift all the way to the end, to the 59th minute, because this way you can get up on your big name players like Datsuk. For example, I know someone who does this method that has like a million pucks, and they picked up a Datsuk yesterday for 503k and then flipped him for over a million pucks yesterday. So it is a very good method if you have a lot of pucks to steal some of the big name players that people misprice on the market. Now the buy it now maximum is the final one, which you set in your maximum amount of pucks. In my case here, it'd be 5.5k. And actually 50 pucks on top of that, so I'd go to there and I'd set it around here, and then that means I can see every single card that is searched within my limit for a buy it now. Now the reason why I don't do the latter 2 is because, especially early on when I don't have a lot of pucks, there's a lot of extra cards. Like for example, we'll just go up to 1k buy it now, and you'll see the huge difference in cards listed. So let's search with the 1k buy it now here. And you're going to notice you see all of these rare gold players, right? And it's going to take you a lot longer to scroll to that 59th minute, as I just sold something in the market. But yeah, it's going to take a lot longer for you to scroll out to that 59th minute, and there's also a lot of other cards mixed in there. So this is why I do the 600 puck mark and search at this mark, because guess what? When you look here, you don't see any rare gold. So you just search all the way along, and you keep on going. So while I'm searching out here, I'll go over player overalls. Actually, that was a good page to stop on. We'll see if there's one on this page. Yeah, we'll go back to that page. I'll go into quick selling of players here. So these players, Coletta, Strait, and Mason, they'll quick sell for 272 pucks. Any player below a 74 overall as a common gold, 74 overall or below as a common gold, will quick sell for 272 pucks, whereas any player 75 or over will quick sell for 306 pucks. So just a couple of figures to keep in mind with your head, or for your head, when you are looking for those steals, because you can actually end up paying like 300 pucks for a 74 overall player, and you're actually going to lose pucks on the quick sell. Now, the same thing with the rare golds. I think Grigorenko is the only NHLer that I can actually name off the top of my head that quick sells for 545 pucks. That's for 74 overall or below. 75 and above up to 84 overall is 613 pucks on a quick sell. And then 85 and up is 682 pucks. So we're getting closer, and you're going to see your search time in the bottom right corner and the time remaining start to close up a little bit, because as it dwindles down, people are picking up stuff for their collection and players they want. But generally speaking, once you get to the 50th minute, there's a few different search things that you really need to pay attention to, because they're very, very key in getting your steals, especially if there's more than one person doing it at this time, because it can be survival of the fittest. And right here, we're getting close here, so you can start to see, you know, a lot of these players here, and there we go. So we're at the hour and 2-minute mark here. So let's go ahead and let's search for him. All right, so Campbell is the closest to an hour. So Peter Regan is the closest. Now, if the card that is over an hour is from the 4th card or over, you're going to want to switch to the right page and then back to the left page, because you're going to be on that side quicker to get your steal. Now, if your guy is on the left side like he is here, you're going to want to, say for example, Regan was, say, right where Russell is here, and you're going to want to search to the left side because it's going to be faster for you to get to your card, and it's going to be faster for you to get to your steal. The other thing to note is that he's got an hour left, so soon he's going to switch over into the under an hour left, which means he'll be listed behind or in front of some of the newly listings. So then you look at the next guy, again, he's still an hour, and actually there's going to be some good times where you can catch a good break and kind of see where players are. So as you can see, he's still got an hour left on him, but he's going to change over soon. Then after that, we have a minute until Bonino becomes the next player, and it's just a nice little bookmark to keep track of right here. So as you wait out here, you're going to notice a few things. You're going to see the buy it nows and the time remaining here. You're going to have to adjust pretty fast to all the different to how many players are listed, and just kind of get a feel for it, get a feel for the market. And again, remember your quick sell values, because those come in very good very handy here. And as you can see, Regan actually just turned into under an hour, so everything's going to be listed to the side of him. So you can see a couple Olins were listed there. Shepard's also listed, so now you're going to look beside Bonino to see what he's going for, to see the next player that could be a steal. And there we go, Harold at 300 pucks. We're going to buy him now because he's a 77 overall. When we go to assign him, he's going to quick sell for 306 pucks, which it's only 6 bucks in profit, but I'll get into why that's actually a really good deal, and because actually I'll talk about that right now. It is a free contract, and if you're stuck for a contract, this is a very good method if you have 300 pucks. And here we go, we have a 2-2 at 500. See if we can beat people. There we go, we beat people. So again, we just got a 2-2 for 550 pucks. And we're going to go ahead and we're just going to quick sell him for 613 pucks. We got some profit off of him, which is very nice to do. And again, it takes a little bit to earn up some pucks, but at the same time, you can get some pretty insane steals. So let's see. So is it Coletta, Gervais? Coletta's a new guy. But you can get some pretty insane steals. I got a Mikko Koivu for 450 pucks using this method. So you can still get some of those big steals that you desperately want to fuel your team there. So this time I actually switched to the wrong side. If it's in the middle, it doesn't really matter too much what side you go to. It's just, again, that extra half second can really help you. So right here, do not buy this Mike Brown, because when you go to buy him, he'll only quick sell for 272 pucks. But anyways, that's the 59th minute, and that's pretty much to a T of what you can do with it. I'm actually going to sit out here and get a team for about however many pucks I have later on, and kind of show you guys what I bought with it. And yeah, so anyways, we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to sit back and record that and then kind of speed through it and show you guys what players I bought. And going to pick up a fairly good team here for under the quick sell value. Alright, so in 15 minutes of playing the 59-minute method that way, I actually managed to do fairly well. I spent about 2.5K and picked up 11 players under the quick sell, and I can make 4.6K, but because I don't have a gold team roster, I'm actually going to send a lot of these guys to my roster here, and we'll actually check out their contracts and just compare the two Schlemkos, so both have the same contract. Doesn't really matter there, but again, we got a lot of contract games here that after we're done using up their contracts, we can just sell them for more than what we paid for them, and guess what? We got a free contract as well. That's why these steals are really useful, especially if you're comfortable with throwing a guy, say, on your third pairing or something, and you're short the pucks for a contract. You can just save so much pucks that way. I actually have two Schlemkos. We're actually going to quick sell him, but I'm going to go ahead and go look at my team a little bit here and see what positions I need to round out the roster, and I will come back and I will actually record some more steals. So we'll see you in like 5 seconds. After about spending an hour or so at the 59-minute mark on and off, I've spent about 15 minutes and 15 minutes and 15 minutes and 15 minutes. I managed to pick up a few players for a team, and I actually managed to complete a fairly decent team at least, and it's for about 6.5k or so is what I paid for it. That's not including actually the players I got for cheaper and quick sold them. I'm actually into this team probably for about like 6.6k or like 5.75k, so fairly good team for that price. And here it is. It's Zuccarello, Koivu, and Silverberg on the first line. The second line is Wingles, Tuomo Ruutu, and Burish. The third line is Upshaw, Gosted, and Dorsett, and the fourth line is Weiss and Richardson and King. Richardson and Weiss were free pack guys, so that was kind of nice. On defense, we have Alzner and Surrey. Surrey was in my free pack, so that's kind of nice. And then we have Goligoski and Boschman. And then we have Kindle and Roosevelt. And again, all these guys, actually Alzner was the cheapest pickup out of all of these. Alzner I picked up for 100 pucks, which was an absolute steal. And then in goalie we have Hackett, who I picked up for 450 pucks, and then Pickard, who I picked up for around 350 pucks on a steal. So fairly good squad, if I do say so myself. Fairly good roster. Obviously, it's not all 100% like really good players, but at the same time, it is a team that I can go around and do fairly well with. And I'm not really worried about, you know, being outplayed every single game. I can still make it fairly close. Like if you look at these guys' stats, they're all middle of the road for speed, and then you've got a fairly good first line, which is always nice to have. And then my defense is very solid, and my goaltending is actually alright. It's not the best, but at the same time, it's definitely not the worst. So yeah, that's about what an hour and probably like 7k worth of pucks got you. I did that with 6k worth of pucks actually, and I still have 3k left over, give or take 2k from selling stuff. But anyways, so that's my team, and onto another part here. After playing the market for a little bit, I went up to about 9k from that team I bought, and that's pretty good from 6k. That's 3k in about an hour or so, and that's not including selling Koivu or Silverberg or Alzner and a couple other players actually that haven't sold. I should be at around like, I don't know, probably 20k by the time everything settles down and sell, which is actually a fairly good price for 3 hours, you know. 20k in 3 hours is very, very good, or 14k or in an hour actually. That's fairly good, and again, you can still do a lot of stuff like buy bronze packs during that time. For example, normally when I'm going and searching the market around the 600 puck buy now, I'll normally go and buy a bronze pack or a silver pack and just sell the content in it, because you can sell the contracts for 100 pucks each or so, more or less, and then you profit from them fairly easily. So you just fill your trade pile up and get rid of stuff, and then while you're buying stuff, and it's just a great combination. Always make sure to leave a couple spots empty just in case you get a couple duplicate players. But something we're going to get into here is the Hut Live and actually the Hockey Fight Cancers quick sell. So let's go into Hut Live here, and let's just search up some of these cards here and see if there's anything going super low. So Frolik isn't going low. This Garrison, again, still going low, but not as low as what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone here. We'll actually set up the search right. This time we're going with maximum price because odds are it'll be on an auction. But we're going to set up our maximum price to what the lowest or the highest quick sell of a Hut Live is, which is 65k. So let's go ahead and let's set that. And there we go. So nothing there. 6.2k there. 6k, 5k, 6k. She's at 5k with 23 minutes left or so. He'll quick sell for 5.85k, which is a fairly good profit if you can get him for like 5.1k, even 5.5k. You make 350 pucks off of them, and it's just something to keep in mind with the Hut Live cards. And also you can actually find some pretty cheap buy it nows for them as well, which is always a very, very good thing. Unfortunately there's none up right now, but again, you know, you take what you can get, and again, it's just a very good, quick way to make pucks. And along with these cards, the Hockey Fight Cancer cards are also identical with their quick sells, which again makes them very, very good and very worthwhile in that regards. So again, you can just kind of scroll through these guys and see if there's any good buy it nows here. Doesn't look like there is, so I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the Hockey Fight Cancer card. and see if we can find the same thing here. So again, searching up on a low price, selling too high, selling too high. So here we go. Here's one at 4.5k with about 10 minutes left. Gonna see if I can bid on him, and then there's also this one with 5k with 10 minutes left. Gonna see if I can get any of those guys for below what they quick sell for. And again, another one. See, the odds of all of these selling above their quick sell is very low, and at the very least, if you bid, if you're in need of a contract and a half decent player, you can bid like 5.85 on these guys, and the odds are no one else will outbid you because everyone's just trying to profit off of them. It's one of those weird things in the game, but again, it's there, it's kind of cool, and you can use it as much as you want because it's a very good way to save yourself from having to buy a contract and having a good player to actually be there to replace a contract. So again, just all you do is you just look for the quick sell and go from there. So again, these guys are kind of mispriced a little bit. 6k for him, 5.2k. We will actually buy this one because we're going to get more from a quick sell. So let's go ahead and let's assign him now. And you're going to notice this quick sell is 5.85k. There's 600 pucks in the bank just from being there and buying that. So pretty cool there seeing that. And also on selling these, if the quick sell is 585, and let me just do some quick math here, you have to sell it for 6.15k in order to get more than your quick sell. So this person, even though it looks like it's selling for more than your quick sell, after EA tax, it'll actually be lower than your quick sell. So just another little tip you do want to keep in mind when you're selling stuff. There's a lot of little tips like that that people seem to forget about, and it's just the extra 50 pucks or so that can really make or break it. Like some of the, when you're at that 59th minute search, you can kind of tell like just who kind of knows what they're doing, and then you can also kind of see when you're running low on pucks when you could use that extra 50 pucks or so, because there's times where I've needed 50 pucks to get a steal and I just didn't have it. So anyways, that's something to look for when searching. And again, you can't really find great steals on all players like that, but again, just for Hot Lives and Milestone or Hockey Fight Cancer, once you get up to that point, you can get some pretty good steals there. There are a few key items to remember when you list a card on the market. First off, you want to know the average price that the player sells for and the average price of them on the market. For example, if you're going to go ahead and try to sell a Zuccarello at 5k or even 3k, he's not going to sell because there are a lot below him. Secondly, you're going to want to make sure you have a buy it now on your player or card or contract or whatever it is, because if it has a buy it now, especially if it's a buy it now that's just slightly more than the starting price, people are more likely to buy the card, especially when there are no other buy it nows on the market. It's one thing that I can't stress enough about how important it is, because it can get you that extra 50 pucks or 100 pucks for your player because you have that buy it now. If someone's completing the Rangers collection and say the rest of the Zuccarellos will have about an hour left and they're about at an $8.50 start price or so, they might just say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and buy this one for 1k because it's the cheapest on the market as a buy it now, and you're going to make a little bit of extra pucks and more than what one would actually sell for on bids probably. Again, it's just something to keep in mind, especially with contracts. Keep in mind of having to buy it now on them. You can get some higher selling items that way, and then again, it's just really useful in making more pucks. Now, another thing that's really useful is when you're selling contracts, make sure you list them at the same price. Listing them at the same price means that it's going to create a more of an established market of what it is and more of an average. It slightly reduces a potential for it to go up in price, but at the same time, it's not that significant of a increase in contracts. You're generally talking about 50 pucks or so, and they can actually drop down. Your regular gold contract can actually drop down to about 200 pucks. So if you're getting 250 per, you're generally speaking doing a good idea. Now here, there are two others on the market of this player right here. I actually haven't looked them up, but the last one sold for 100k. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with a starting price of 100 and a buy it now of 200, because either way I'm making more on this player than what I would on a quick sell, and it'll actually make me a fair decent amount of pucks, and it gives an incentive for someone to buy it now. If I really wanted to, I could look up the market to figure out a better price, but again, just for the sake of time here, it's just easier to go like this. And again, since this guy has 7 on him, I'm going to list him at the starting price of the last one sold and the buy it now 50 pucks over. that's just generally speaking how you want to do these, and it's a very good way to make pucks. Right here there's 3 on the market, so we're actually just going to do that again, because 200 pucks is a good price for him. Here he goes for 400. Now him being in a European league, he could actually sell for a lot more than 400. So here I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to put a buy it now about 550 or so, and my starting price about 50 pucks below, because either way I'm going to be happy with what he sells for here. Actually, I'm going to go 600. I'm going to be happy with what he sells for here, because if he doesn't sell again, I can just go up and relist him. Remember, you can always relist a guy. If you don't get enough for him on bids, you can't relist them. So just something to keep in mind, especially when you're selling some higher end players, for example like Koivu, who is going for 7K this morning and actually 11K last night and only 5K right now. It's one of those things that, again, a lot of people tend to forget about, is that if you can afford to hold on to the player for a little bit longer, odds are you'll be able to sell some more. And again, make sure you list everything with a buy it now. It just, you get so many more sales, I find, and so many more quicker sales than what you do from not having it. And so last one sold for 100. I'm just going to toss him up there at that price. Let's go at 150 on him and 100 on him. So hopefully we have the lowest price on them, and generally speaking these guys will sell within the hour for the most part. If not, again, you can always just go back and relist them. Again, just some helpful tips when you're listing the item in the market. Also make sure you know what they quick sell for, because a lot of mistakes I see from people is listing, especially when it comes to start of the week players and actually 85 overalls and above, is their quick sells. Garrison quick sells for 6,500 pucks, but again, he's not going to be someone you're worried about going for under that. It's going to be someone like, for example, where are the Hockey Fight Cancer cards? I went over this a little bit in it, but again, make sure you know what you're selling a player for, because for example, this Ott here, if I had the pucks, I would definitely be bidding on him, because someone's going to be profiting off of him. He quick sells for about 5,850 pucks, which means that if you sell him for under 6,150 pucks, you're going to actually be losing pucks. And actually, if you sell it at 6,150 pucks, you're going to be getting the same amount as a quick sell. Again, it's just something to keep in mind when you are selling a card. Make sure you recognize the buy it nows. And general guidelines is that an 85 or over NHL gold card you don't sell for under 750 pucks. You don't list for under 750 pucks, because they sell for 682, which means if you sell it for 700 pucks, you're going to be getting less. So just some nice little quick tips there, and they are actually very useful. Again, every puck counts in this game. I cannot stress that enough about how much that extra 50 pucks can get you that one big steal in order to set you off. I actually had 500 pucks when I got the Koivu. If I would have had 50 pucks less, I wouldn't have been able to get him. And again, it's just that extra little puck can give you that enough of a boost to get you that one steal that you need, that one player that you want, or that contract or that pack that you need. Another great method of making pucks while you're either browsing the market, playing games, or away from your console is to actually buy bronze packs and sell them. All you do is you go to the store and you just go ahead and you buy a bronze pack, 600 pucks in the bank. So they're relatively inexpensive, but you're going to be able to sell a lot of the stuff for some good profit. Now you're going to get some players. See these players right here, they average, these two are 300, there's half your pack. This guy's 400, there's my pack right there. I actually got a pretty sick jersey right here, which I might actually even keep, but that's an 800 puck jersey. That pays for my bronze pack in itself. All the contracts you can generally get 100 pucks for, and your injury cards you can get something for. The goalie consumables don't sell at all. They're just very hard to sell, at least. And you can make some pretty good pucks while not being on your console or playing another game mode, or actually just playing the market or something like that. So again, very good way to make pucks, and one that you definitely should take advantage of. Again, make sure you have space in your trade pile here. Like, I could go ahead and open up another pack. Actually, you know what? I'm going to open up another pack because I have 9 slots in my trade pile, and generally speaking, you get enough for about 10 spots or so. And again, so we got 4 players here. If you get 4 players, right here, my players are all 100 pucks more or less. So that's 400 pucks. You get a logo, a jersey. You know, you can probably sell them for 50. Your contracts are about 50 each, 50 to 100 each. So right there, another 150. And at the worst, I break even on this pack, which is, again, very good when you're opening up a pack to consider. And again, some of these players can sell for over 100. They can sell for over 150. You can get some pretty good bronze players that sell for an insane amount. I believe there is a bronze NHL goalie for the Nashville Predators who sells for a fair decent amount. I'm not entirely sure on that, but I remember reading about it. So that's pretty much how you go about making some little extra pucks while you're away from your console and other things like that. Another great way to make pucks in Hut is to complete collections. Unlike last year when the collection bonuses were only about 4 or 5k, this year they're worth a lot more. They're actually meaningful to collect because the lowest collection bonus is actually 36k, which is a fairly big bonus considering you'll probably be able to pick up the players and sell them back for what you paid for them, as well as get 36k on top of them. And that's pretty nice, especially some of the ones like 40k, 50k, 60k, but I mean Pittsburgh is pretty hard to collect. But yeah, so collections are actually a great way to get them, and a couple of easy collections to do just to get yourself a quick 6k are doing both the red and blue NHL collections. You can generally sell all the stuff in them for what you buy them for, and you get 6k on top of it, which is pretty nice, and like I said, it's a great way to make some quick pucks. If you're stuck on what player you need for a collection, there's a spreadsheet made by Genitals. He's also a YouTuber and a very, very good one who actually spent a ton of time in on making the Hut database or Hut DB. And I'll actually link you guys to his channel and to that video in the description below. It has the list of all the NHL players as well as some of the AHL collections, and I believe some of the Euro leagues are a work in progress, as well as all the Hut lives, all the team of the weeks, and everything you need to know about that. It is, once again, a very, very good list, one that took a lot of time to compile. So, again, definitely check that out if you are stuck on collections or want to know what player plays for what team. In Hut and NHL 14, there's definitely some things you want to keep in consideration with your players, as sometimes their overall doesn't depict how they play on the ice. For example, there are some players who seem way overrated for their overall, such as Dennis Seidenberg is one that I found isn't really valued at an 87 in my opinion, but there are also some players like Michael Granlund here who you can get for like 600 pucks that play amazing. This top line of Hagelin, Tavares, and Granlund is a very fast line, but overall Hagelin's a player you can pick up for 1k, and he plays very, very good in NHL 14. He has great hands and he has great speed. Yes, he can't hit, but look at his offensive stat categories. They're very, very high up there. He's got very good offensive stat categories to the point where he's actually better than Kessler in his stat categories, and he's very quick. Speed is something you do want to have in Hut. And then Michael Granlund is one that people don't really take into consideration as throwing on their ultimate team, let alone on their first line, when they have this whole group of right wingers that are playmakers such as Yakupov and Pominville. But I found Granlund is an absolutely insane card for the price you can get him at. He's a very, very good forward, like someone that I would probably put if I was actually like playing according to what I was paying for them. I'd probably pay about 40k for him because he's an amazing playmaker in this game for me, and he's someone I definitely want on my team. Now, that won't be the case with absolutely everyone. There's going to be players you find that'll be really, really good for their value. Keep those players on your team. They're definitely players that you want to stick around and keep in order to make sure you're kind of achieving or playing to your playstyle, because there's some people who can't use certain power forwards or certain centers. Again, it's just something to keep in mind when you are building your ultimate team. Some players that I've noticed have been really good for their overalls are Michael Granlund. Oliver Ekman-Larsson is by far one of the best defensemen in this game, despite only being an 82 overall. I just have an assistant captain's card on him to just make him a little bit better, but he plays a lot better than his stats. Cody Franson is a very good player as well. He plays more like a defensive defenseman, but he's as an offensive defenseman in this game. So this is actually a really good shutdown pairing, as well as a pairing that can give you some nice little offensive when needed. It's very good that way. And then again, Brian Campbell, another really good defenseman, really, really strong offensive defenseman in this game. 84 seems kind of low for him. He has an absolute ridiculous shot in this game. And again, Yakupov, he does sell for a lot because he is younger. And it's one thing I noticed is that if you get younger NHL players, they tend to perform really good. Again, goalies, one of my favorite goalies in this game is Jack Campbell, but by far the best goalie I've played with is Corey Schneider. Goalies are just going to be someone you have to kind of play for yourself and see which ones you like and what you don't. Again, that's what it comes down to a lot with Hut, is finding players that work for you and then keeping them. Like this line, for example, this Granlund, Tavares, Hagelin line is really working for me, and I really have no intentions of breaking it up just because it's that good for me. So moral of the story is, if you want to have a good winning team in Hut, you want to have players that you're good with and that you can get used to and that kind of fit your play style here. I like to play a fast, skilled game, and these guys all fit that need. They're all great at deking, they're all great at passing, and they're very fast on the ice. Despite their stats maybe not showing them having the best speed, they're definitely fast when you're playing on the ice, and that's why I use them. So again, just get out, try to experiment with different players you get in, whether it's in a trade or whether it's player you use. Try to use every single player you get, because there are some great players out there that are like only 80 overalls that, you know what, probably play better than some of the 86s in this game for me. So anyways, that's another little quick tip there. Again, just make sure you try out some players, because you never know who will surprise you year in and year out. Last year I used a line of, I believe it was Yakupov, Galchenyuk, and Baertschi, and it was absolutely dominating a line of like Malkin, Crosby, and Ovechkin. It was just a ridiculously good line, and it's just because they seem to be playing really well in the game. And again, it's something you definitely really want to consider and something you want to try out for yourself just to see who works for you. A place where you waste a surprising amount of pucks in Hut is on your contracts, and this is what a lot of people fail to do year in and year out, is spend their pucks wisely on contracts. Many people don't know what the best method is for them. Now, in NHL 13, by far the best method was opening up bronze packs. In fact, you could actually sell the contracts out of bronze packs for more than what the bronze pack would cost every single pack, which was really, really nice because you can make a lot of pucks that way. This year, not so much on your bronze packs. Your bronze packs are going to get you 4 games on average, 3 to 4 games on average for 600 pucks, which isn't really a good deal. I think the average pack probably has 3 contracts, which is 200 pucks or so for a game. Or let's go with 4 even. It's still like 150 pucks for a game, which is absolutely ridiculous. Now we'll go into gold contracts here. Your premium gold jumbos and your gold premium packs, although you do get better chances of getting better players, if you need contracts, they are not your best bet. Yes, you can get players out of them that you can play and that type of stuff, but the cost of them is absolutely ridiculous if you want to keep your team intact, like your exact same team, and don't want to change it up, because pretty much most packs aren't going to get you a player you want to put on your team over someone else, and a contract would cost you in a premium jumbo or a gold or premium gold pack, they'll cost you about 170 pucks a game. Now the regular gold packs are a bit of a different story here. They're actually fairly decent because you get a bit of a higher quick sell out of all your items in this than you do in a silver pack, and your average contract without selling anything else is about 120 pucks, which isn't that bad at all. Again, it is a very good price for them in comparison to everything else on the market, as well as you still get that chance to pull a player, but again, they're not your best bet for contracts. Your best bet for contracts this year are your silver contracts. Now, your gold contracts give you 13 games played for, your silver give you 8 games played for. So there's 5 games difference between them. But, that being said, you can get 3 silver packs pretty much for the price of one of the gold packs, which gets you on average, I'd say 3 silver packs get you on average 11 contracts or so, and let's go with say 4 per pack. You get 12 contracts in your 3 packs. It works out to about 75 pucks a game for a contract. That's quite a significant amount less, not to mention the fact that you can actually sell a lot of the players out of silver packs for more than what you paid for the pack. You can sell some of the jerseys, the injury cards, you can get durations in them and sell them. The silver packs are ultimately your best for getting contracts for your team, unless you want to go ahead and buy them off the market, which again, probably a pretty good idea. Let's go ahead and let's look at the market. I actually don't buy mine off the market. I normally open up silver packs just because you can get those players which can sell for more. But let's go ahead and let's look at contracts, and again, just see what they're going for on average. So you got 50 pucks there. 250 to 300 is the average price for a gold. So again, it's not bad there because that's actually a very good price to buy them at. you're actually you're fairly safe buying your contracts off the market this year, unlike previous years. And again, watch out for the rare contracts, because guess what? For 500 bucks you can get 26 games. For 450 you can get 28 games. Again, just little stuff like that you have to watch out for. Rare silver contracts are actually really good. You can get them for like 300 bucks, and they have about, I think it's like 24 or 22 games played for gold players. So just some pro tips with some contracts there. That's what I recommend you getting. Yeah, so you get 18 games played for 300 bucks. For the same price as a gold contract that you get 13 games played, you can get 18 games played for the rare silver contracts. Just some stuff like that will really help you save pucks over time, especially if you play hot games a lot, and it'll really help you develop your team and grow your team into a good team. Again, every single puck you can save is a huge advantage for yourself. Anyways, guys, that's about it for this. I think the next thing and final thing I'm going to cover is trading. The last part of the ultimate guide for Hut deals with trading, and this is probably where I have the most expertise and most knowledge, and also get the most questions on, that, to be honest, I should be answering more often, but I just haven't due to laziness, and I feel like I address it in here because it is a very important thing, and it is a good way to not only get new players and test out new players, but it is also a fairly good way to make pucks as well. And again, a lot of people don't understand the whole process behind making pucks off of trading. It should be equal trades. I'll get into why, if you know what you're doing when trading, you'll be making pucks in a little bit. But anyways, onto kind of the basics of trading, and pretty much you can send in a trade offer to anyone. For those who don't know how to, you just go to the item, and then you can just hit, let's just pull up a random guy here. And there you go. So say we want this long guy, we just go to trade offers, and if we have something in our trade, you have to have something in your trade pile to offer them that's not on the market, and then you can add in pucks if you want. You can only have a maximum of 4 players in a trade offer, so again, you really can't offer like say 5 or like 15 5K players for a player that goes for like 75K. Is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, hey, that's right. There we go. You can't do that. And again, if I was someone with a 75K player, I wouldn't take that trade. Now, that being said, the basics of trading are, a lot of people keep on asking me like how to get more trades and stuff like that. And one is, you have to build a reputation that you are a trader. Easiest way to do this is through Twitter and social media. There are some really good HUD accounts out there. I believe also there's some new accounts that are starting to retweet stuff, and I'm actually going to try to start retweeting stuff. I might make a separate HUD account just to retweet, because I don't really want it clogging my my tweets myself. But yeah, there's a lot of really good HUD accounts out there that you can tweet at, and they will help you. The EA forums are a great place for trading. I will leave the link to there in the description below, but it is honestly a phenomenal place to go and trade, because there's a lot of really active members on there, and they're very well-spoken members. When you first come there, you're going to have a little bit of a difficulty trading, just because there is a lot of scamming going on there right now. But again, you still have a great chance at getting a trade there as well. And again, it's all about boosting your team name and your reputation for being a good trader. For example, if you're not taking a trade that's like 15-20K over the trade value, oh, we actually got a trade in on Koivu here. So we have 5.85K and Ballard, which works out to, again, I'll get into why, if I'll accept or reject this trade in a little bit. But again, the bigger of a reputation you build up, the more likely you are to get trades. And again, with a reputation, there also comes some negative consequences, such as troll trades, because you can get a ton of troll trades once you start doing trade days and stuff. I think I've had like 50 troll trades on one guy from one person who had 2 accounts on PlayStation before. Again, there's pros and cons to them, but again, the more active you are and more predominant in the community you are as an active trader, as someone who's willing to trade fairly and not reject a lot of the trades, then you're definitely going to get more trade offers than someone in the middle of the road who doesn't really actively try to promote it. Now, that being said, also on top of that, you can actually generate more interest in trades by having higher end players in there. And once people start to see, you have these 10, 20K players, if they start sending trades to you and you start accepting or rejecting them fairly quickly, you're going to establish a reputation as someone who does check their trades. And for people who don't check their trades, they establish a reputation, and just like when you're browsing through, oh, they don't check their trades, I'm not going to trade with them. Or is this person, oh, they check their trades, they do it fairly often, I'm going to go ahead and send in a trade because I know they'll respond. You're going to get more trades that way. So those are kind of the two methods, in my opinion, to get more trades. Actually, there's a few there. There's quite a few different ways too, but again, those are just the ones that I can name off the top of my head. Now into the actual part of trading, which is knowing your player value, knowing what other players sell for, and stuff like that. So this is where a combination of the market knowledge itself, just for knowing what players sell for and stuff like that, comes in handy. Now here's an offer of Ballard and EA packs of about 5.85K, which again, this trade offer, I wouldn't be using Ballard, so that's about 6.1K for me. Which isn't a horrible offer, it's just not one I'm extremely interested in. And we can go look at the Mikko Koivus here up on the market. Let's actually go ahead and do that. And this is basically how you judge prices. So Ballard I know sells for 300 pucks, 350, 300, somewhere in there, and he's just worth a quick sell to me. Seeing as how I'm not going to use them, it places 0 value on that trade. But we're gonna go look up Minnesota. Actually centers and playmakers at that, and let's go ahead and let's bump up this minimum price just a little bit here. Alright, there we go. And again, this is just so you can find your trades better. So this one's at 4.5K with no bids, 6.8K with no bids, 12K, 11K, 9K, 9K, 6.5, 7, 7. So it seems like 7 is going to be a good value for him, somewhere in there, and probably higher than that, because there's someone, it looks like there's someone actually price locking him. So when someone's actually price locking him, you can actually benefit from that, because you can kind of hold your guy at a slightly lower value and wait for that. Now, price locking is something that I've actually forgot to talk about. All price locking is you pretty much have, say, 5 or so of a player, or at least 5 of a player, and you just set him at a certain price, and you keep on buying the ones below that price, and then sell them at a higher price, and just keep on bringing it up so you have like the only ones on the market. It's a kind of, I don't know, it's a bit of a touchy topic for some people because they don't agree with it, but at the same time it's a good way to earn pucks. And this trade right here, it's about 6.1K. I don't really want that for Koivu, so I'm going to reject it. Now, there is another way to find out what a player sells for. If you look in here and say you had someone, for example, let's go look up, say we had Patrick Kane on the market in a trade day, or up for trade, and we got an offer in on him, and the offer was around 300K, for example, and we don't know what he sells for exactly, and you don't remember what the last one sold for, or you just want to check to see if there's any that sold recently. You just search them up on the market, and alright, so we're searching them up on the market. There's only 2 listed right now at 340 and 330K. So we can establish from this he should be going between 330 and 340K, right? Well, if the other ones aren't up there, you don't know what the last one sold for. And if you don't know what the last one sold for, you can't actually tell in your trade pile. There's actually no way to tell. For most people, they don't know of the way to tell. And the way to tell if your last player is, or the last sell of the player, is you can either A, buy a player off the market, or B, my personal method is just to buy a bronze pack or a silver pack, and all you do is you buy the pack and you wait for it to pop up. Hey, there we go, we're gonna actually profit from this pack fairly easily. You buy the pack and you tab over to your trade pile, and when you tab over here, you can view the last price sold, how many on the market, and the amount on the market includes your own. So I have the only one of this strong guy on the market. Now you can kind of view what everyone goes for, so let's go ahead and let's look at Mikko Koivu. The last one sold for 12K, even though there's some lower listed. I think someone probably bought one from a friend or something, but so 12K was the last one sold. So again, I feel confident in rejecting that trade that was only worth 6K because I think I could get 7.5 at least for him. Probably closer to 10K is what I'd set on an 87 overall, at least for me, because I'm fairly comfortable with using him. Brown goes for 7K, and the last Garrison actually sold for 13K, which seems a little bit low. Again, Star of the Week seem to bounce up in value once they're gone because they become more rare. But yeah, so anyways, you buy your bronze pack, you just do whatever you want with this. For my stakes, I'm just going to send it all to my trade pile and sell it. You can either quick sell it if you want, but again, I highly recommend selling it. And if your trade pile is actually full, you can buy a card off the market. You can just try to find the cheapest card you can get and send that, or keep it off of get it off the market. And then when you're in the kind of screen to assign it, you can also do the exact same thing. So again, just a neat little way to view the trades on, or the last price sold on players. And yeah, I think that's pretty much about it for trading, other than trade values itself and what to accept and reject. Why did I go to my watch list? I have no clue, but this is the part where I tend to either get a lot of flack over, a lot of criticism over, or a lot of respect over. And again, this is a part where it becomes difficult to kind of balance out your values of a trade. And you saw me reject that Koivu trade because it was only 6K, and I feel like I could get at least 7.5K for him, 7K for sure on him. And if I list him overnight, I should be able to get around 8-9K for him, because the one guy is price locking him, which means that's the price that people are going to see for the most part. And for that reason, I'm probably going to wait until the price lock goes up a little bit and people start buying off of that. Now, that being said, there's also specific values I assign on players, and when accepting a trade, I take these into consideration fairly heavily. The first one is the amount of players in a trade. Ultimately, the best trade is one involving pucks, because that's the easiest, quick yes or no. Is that what the player last sold for? Is it the value I want on the player? And is it a fair value both ways, or am I going to be making a little bit off what I paid for the player? Now, ultimately, puck value is the pure value of the player. It's what he'd sell for in the market, which establishes the value of the player. Now, Koivu, or someone rare, such as like Star of the Week Ovechkin, he won't be selling on the market too well. He'll probably either be pulled or he'll be taken in a trade offer, because he probably goes, the Team of the Week Ovechkin goes for over $2 million in pucks. So again, last price sold might not be entirely accurate on them, but yeah, so that's kind of that with dealing with pure puck values as the established value that you go by for accepting trades. So last Koivu sold for 12K, say they were all listed at 12K, then this Koivu I'd take like obviously 10K on him, but say I listed them for 12K, that'd be the lowest I'd be willing to accept on him, because that was the price the last one sold at, or an average price that I think is fair. And again, it's a little bit, there's a lot of discretion in here with puck value and stuff like that, but the minute you add a player in, you almost need to be offering a little bit more. And this is what I've noticed with offering trades myself in trying to trade up, and as well as accepting trades from others. I find it very hard accepting a player that I'm not going to use in a trade that makes it just to the same value, if not a little bit lower than what the player sold for. So say for example, I got 6.75K and Ballard in a trade offer. That's 7K, that's what the lowest one buy it now on the market is. So that's a fair offer by the puck value. However, I'm not going to use Ballard, and his value is 306 pucks. Which again, I'd just rather have the pure pucks, which that would give me the pure pucks from the quick sell. But say for example, it's a player that goes for say 1,000 pucks. Actually, here's a good example. Say I got Brown and Koivu in on Garrison, and Brown and Koivu both sold for about they both sold for 10K, and Garrison goes for 20K. I'd be less likely to accept that, because there are two players that go for 10K that can actually drop down in price, as opposed to one Star of the Week who can go up in price. Star of the Weeks and Hut Lives will always should normally increase after the week they're released, because there's less of a chance they'll be re-released and they become rare, as you can't pull them unless it's like Iggy from last year or Letang Team of the Year on Xbox. But again, it's just one of the things. The more players you add, you should be looking. You're more likely to get rejected, especially if the player values are a little bit off. For example, if you were to say offer Koivu Brown, which are, say they're 10K each, and 2 other players worth 5K for a 30K player, and then someone offers 2 15K players, what are you more likely to take in a trade? You're going to take the 2 players because they have a higher trade value and there's less of a risk involved with them. Again, it's just something that I go by. You don't have to go by it personally, but when you're trading, when you're accepting trades, the more players you get in a trade, depending on who they are. Like if it was like a player I really wanted, I'd be more lenient to taking it. But again, if it's a player I'm just gonna sell, I want a little bit more value out of it for the inconvenience of having to sell them, as opposed to just having the pure pucks at hand. And that pretty much sums up my standpoint on trading. Again, I have like little percentages set up. I think it's like, I want about 5% more depending on the type of players in like a 2-person trade, 10% more in a 3-person trade. It's kind of set up like that where it's structured similar, but I'm ultimately looking for a number that's just, I know I'm safe with, and I know I'm not going to be losing pucks. And that's what you should look for when you're trading, is making sure you're not going to be losing any pucks, especially when you're trading down. Anyways, guys, I think that wraps up trading here, and I will meet you guys in like 2 seconds here. And that is pretty much everything to do with HUT. Hopefully this helps you out a lot along the way in any shape or form, whether it allows you to get that one good steal at that 59th minute mark, or get that one good trade in, and just kind of help you build your better team. Hopefully this does help you in any way, shape, or form. If you feel like I missed something, or you feel like or you have a question to ask me about something, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. I will try to respond to it. You can also hit me up on Twitter. It's in the description below as well. And I will also be trying to make a blog post containing all of this information written down, as well as in the description below. I'm hopefully going to have like a kind of play chapters through this, so you can click on the time and it'll take you to when this certain segment starts. Anyways, I think that about sums it up, guys. Again, hopefully this helps you get, that one steal at that 59th minute or something like that, and helps you build your team into hopefully becoming a fairly strong team full of the players you want to get. Again, the main thing with HUT is to be patient and ultimately to know the market and kind of learn and understand it. The more patient you are, the more likely you are to succeed in this game, because if you just want to rip open packs and sell your players below market value, you're going to be struggling in the game. Anyways, guys, that pretty much sums everything up. If you enjoyed the video, a like would be very appreciated. Comment as well. But again, everything will be in the description below. I'll have links to everything that I said I would, and I will definitely link you guys up to the posts of everything written down. Hopefully I can get that done in time. If not, I will be posting it on Twitter when it is done. Anyways, take it easy, peace out, and thank you for watching, and good luck with your HUT journeys. See ya.